But do you even think it's even possible for any African in the next 10 or 20 years to be in the top five?
It will be a challenge for any African to be a top 10, to be a challenge. And the reason is that the economies of Africa, where we operate, you see, the economy you operate in defines how high you can go. So if you're operating in the economy now, because of the exchange rate, maybe it's 300 billion, who knows? You can't compete with a man who's operating in a 30 trillion environment.
That's why the world is technology, which means you can serve the whole world anywhere you are.
Yeah, but it's difficult for a Nigerian platform to be serving somebody in Russia.
But it's not difficult for somebody in Russia to serve a Nigerian platform.
Yeah.
Why? Who made that rule?
No. See, it's difficult. See, it's easy for a Nigerian platform to serve Africa, but to go beyond Africa takes a bit more. And not just to go beyond Africa, but to go beyond Africa and compete with established players, it takes even more. I mean, for example, the Nigerian banks, they are all in the UK, some of them are in the US, some are in France, some are in China. That's a good step. But even in the UK where they are, they're not big banks. But they are sizable vis-a-vis Nigeria, which is good. And that's where you start from. And then you keep growing. So it would be nice to see where Nigerian banks are in 20 years. They might have started becoming big players in the UK. Who knows? So, but it's all about taking things step by step. But for an African to be a top 10 in the world, probably not in our generation.
Seriously,
Probably
that's a heavy
not.
word to say. Many ambitious people dreaming big and doing very massive things. And you said not in our generation, because if you say not in our generation, you're talking about like the next 50, 70, 100 years more. So,
No, not in our generation means for me 30, for you 50. Now, do you know what it takes to be on the top 10 list right now?
serve the global space.
No, it's more than that. Do you even know the wealth that you need to be on the top 10 list right now?
Right now, at least if you have 300 billion, you're the top 10 list.
So, you need to be at over 120. The richest in Africa today is Abiko. It's just 30 something. For an African to get to even 50 or 70, it's going to take a long. And that 120 is as of today. In the next 15 years, it might take 200 or more to get to the top 10. So that figure is not sticky. It's not static. We got the first $100 billion net worth about 10 years ago. Today now, to get top 10, you must be at 120.
Technology makes things faster today.
I know. I'm just telling you that, you see, okay, so let me say this. Even talking to you now tells me that you have a lot you need to also learn about wealth creation and quantums of wealth. Technology in Africa, wonderful. The opportunity is there, wonderful. But are you likely to create a Microsoft from Nigeria? Exactly. Are you likely to create a Google or Facebook from Nigeria?
Someone can do that. Is it difficult for someone to do?
Of course it is. Of course it is. You see, it's not just being IT savvy. You must have, first of all, the fact that, okay, let's take it another thing. Look at these global IT platforms and brands. Have you noticed that almost all of them are in America? Not even Europe.
America, yeah.
They see that Americans are the only sharp people. No. The environment creates a platform for those ideas to be birthed, incubated, and deployed, and the resources to support it are in those environments. The government infrastructure and so on to support it are in those environments. So when you're in an environment like this, you don't have access to all of those things. How are you going to compete?
Wow.
China is able to develop certain things for one major reason. 1.4 billion people.
Okay, because the population.
So even if they develop a phone that is not as good as iPhone, and the government says iPhone that comes in must pay X amount of duty. So iPhone is at least 2 times the price of the China made. The China made will have its own market now. Because there will be some people that cannot afford that other high one, that will buy that China made. And that China made by that market will now begin to continue to improve on their own quality until they get to a point where they can now start competing with iPhone. So there are many things, there are many factors that define how much you can accomplish.
And why it's even true what you are saying, because even if an African is growing into that 50 that you're talking about, those ones they are also growing in number. So it's not static, because before Aliko was not 10, 20, 30 years ago. And also 10, 20, 30 years ago, I don't think the richest person is up to even 100 billion.
No, 10 years ago was about when the first person got to 100.
Got to 100. Then you can imagine, and 10 years ago, I think Aliko should be maybe, I don't know if there was a billion in dollars then.
Yeah. You know, Aliko's story is very interesting. The refinery is what has got him to the 30 billion level. Cement, international cement got him to the 10 billion, 15 billion level. Obajana cement is what first made Aliko a billionaire. The manufacturing that he was doing, all those Dangote sugar and so on, that's what made him a centimillionaire. So you can see how his own progressed. If they allow him to do steel, he might be able to get to 60. If they allow him to do steel. This government doesn't seem to be too so.
Oh, that's true. It's a tall order, like you said.
And that steel, if he's going to do steel, it's going to take him at least 10 to 15 years. Because steel is even going to be more complex than the refinery.
So I think majorly, even apart from the fact that it's Africa, like you said, all those things you said, yes, which are fact. But I think also the Western powers, maybe they just see Africa like second class. So maybe anything that's coming up from them, they could be creating tariff or creating blockade to not make it compete with them in that their level, for it to be able to, for somebody to be able to achieve that status within them.
Right now, they're not yet creating those tariffs. But if we begin to develop those products, yes, they will create those tariffs. So that's something that we'll need to consider at that time. But right now, the bigger problem is not those tariffs. The bigger problem is the environment we're in does not allow for you to create a global brand in that manner. Let's put it that way. That is
I'm even seeing it like it's something that you can serve the whole world. It's about technology, it's serving the whole world.
It's not that straightforward. There's a lot more to it. For example, technology needs resources, it needs infrastructure, it needs all kinds of support. One big thing that people underestimate about America is that if you have a technology company in America, a business plan might be enough to attract millions of dollars. Because they have companies that is what they do. The people that have supported Google, the people that they know how to run those things. You don't have that here. So that first of all gives whoever is there that you are competing with a huge advantage over you.
Yeah.
Because And those entities, not only are they going to support you with money, they support you with networks, they have access to Google, they have access to all the other platforms that will enhance incorporation of your own product into those platforms. So it's going to be difficult for an African entity. I think we should be more concerned for now on how do we harness Africa as a continent and the $3 trillion economy in Africa. And that's where the Nigerian banks are playing, Dangote Cement has played, the South African banks have played, the MTNs of this world have played. That's where we need to start from. And then from there, we can now begin to go to the rest of the world. For example, MTN did very well. At some point, I know they were in Pakistan. I think they were in Iran or Iraq. They were in the Middle East. So I don't know whether they've continued along that line. So they were really becoming an emerging markets telecoms company, not just an African telecoms company. So for me, if I were to do some form of face rollout, I'll say if you're in Nigeria, start in Nigeria. After Nigeria, you go to West Africa. After West Africa, you go to the rest of Africa. After the rest of Africa, you go to the emerging markets. So you go to the Middle East. You go to part of Asia. And then from there, when you become sizable through acquisition or some other way, then you can enter into the Western world as a big boy.
Okay.
That should be the path. Yes.
But as a country, is it possible for any country, or do you see any promising country in Africa that could get to global power within the next 10, 20, 30 years?
What do you mean by global power?
Like when it comes to world powers, now you mentioned America, you mentioned China, you mentioned
so
Russia.
let's rewind. For it to be a global power, there are two main issues: size of economy and size of military.
Okay, military and economy.
Military is huge. Russia is not a big economy, but Russia is a global power because of their military.
Okay.
However, Russia is going to continue to experience a decline because their military and their economic power does not match their military strength. The US government spends almost the entire Russian budget on military every year. How do you want to compete? So the next power now is going to be China, because China can also match economically. So they're building their military. So they're going to be the next. So for an African nation to become a top 10 in the next how many years?
20, 30 years.
Highly unlikely.
These are tall orders you're saying.
You see, top 10 is a challenge. For example, Nigerian economy was number 20 something. Can't remember what it was. I don't know what it is now. And we could easily become a top 20. The current environment has set us back a bit. So, but in Africa, for anybody to be a top 10 economically, the only country that probably can achieve it is Nigeria. And I don't see us achieving it in the next 20 years. 10 years ago, I would have said yes, it was possible. But the last 10 years will basically decline. And the problem with declining is that when everybody is still going up and you are going down, you can see the gap keeps widening. So if we had continued at the pace we were before, by now we should be a $700-800 billion economy.
Wow.
So that's on economy. And military, forget it. So our best bet to be a global power from Africa is to first be an economic power, then you now become military power. That's what China, for example, is doing. So economic power first, military power second.
Why do you say military? Forget it.
Because military requires both economic power and technology.
Okay. And we don't have that technological advancement yet.
So you have to first have the economic power before you can now start investing in buying and building the technology that you need. So that's so I don't see it happening in the next 20 years.
Wow. It's a total was. For individual, no. For countries, no. Means we still have a long way to go. What's the fastest way to wealth? And can you explain the principle of compound interest?
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, I'll try.